In the headlines, 7 released victims of Abuja-Kaduna train attack reunite with families, narrate ordeal. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo cautions Nigerians against making a wrong choice come 2023. Federal government to generate 484 billion naira from e-payment channels in 3 years. And on the foreign scene, fighting continues near Donetsk as Russia's Donbass offensive grinds on. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. 7 out of the 35 remaining victims of the Abuja-Kaduna train attack have regained freedom after 135 days in captivity. Now, among those released, there's a family of 6 and a 60-year-old woman. The release of the victims now brings the total number of those released to 36. The victims narrate their ordeal.
It's been tough, but we thank God for His grace and mercy. And the prayers, we know that we've prayed and we know that we've had the prayers of our loved ones with us back in the forests there. It hasn't been easy. Everyone has been sick. I came back with my daughter sick because there's not been medication. She hasn't been responding to treatment that from the medications they've given. But we thank God for mercy and grace, and we just pray that the rest of the people that we left back would be released as soon as possible. So whatever the government or whoever it is that can support to get them out, we pray that they do whatever they can to get them out as soon as possible, because the situation is actually tough.
I'm Abu Bakr Idris Garba. I am a civil servant working in the National Assembly Service Commission. I would like to sincerely thank Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, who made this possible for myself and my entire family, and especially Sheikh Gumi, who is here present to receive us, including my family, friends, and all who have supported and stayed with us throughout this ordeal. And I would like to say one thing, just to add to what Sheikh Gumi has said. There is no bound for negotiations. 65 of us boarded March 28, 2022. We boarded the train, a federal government train. For goodness sake, what does it take the federal government to negotiate, to sit with these people, find out their grievances? They have innocent people, hardworking people, men who have left their children, they have left their wives for over 135 days. There are people there stranded. They don't have any means. Please, we're pleading on the federal government. Please, sit with these people. Seek Sheikh Gumi's audience, please. By the grace of God, with him here, he could assist and alleviate and help solve these problems.
And bandits have attacked Yakawada village in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State and abducted the daughter-in-law of the convener Northern Elders Forum, Professor Angwa Abdullahi, and other villagers. This comes barely a month after Siddiq, one of the sons of Abdullahi, who was kidnapped among the train passengers on March 28, 2022, was released after spending several weeks in the kidnappers' den. While confirming the abductions of his daughter-in-law to journalists in Zaria on Wednesday, Professor Abdullahi said 4 of the victims' children were also abducted. Kaduna State Police Command's Public Relations Officer, DSP Muhammad Jaligi, said he is yet to be briefed of the attack, but promised to contact the police division covering the area for details of the incident. And former President Olusegun Obasanjo on Wednesday warned that making the wrong choice in the 2023 election may consume the nation, urging Nigerians to make the right choice. Obasanjo spoke as the special guest of honor at the Wilson Badejo Foundation's 15th annual lecture with the theme, Overcoming the Twin Challenges of Poverty and Insecurity in Nigeria, which held in Lagos. The former president expressed the hope that if the right choice was made in 2023, the nation may witness progress. He had earlier said that Nigeria has not taken its rightful position because of poverty and insecurity. Governor of Plateau State, Simon Lalong, says the APC Muslim ticket is a party affair and has nothing to do with religion. Governor Lalong, who is also the Director General of the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Organization, is not ready to give up the position. The governor spoke on Wednesday with newsmen at State House, Abuja, after a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari. Kende Amudu reports.
As the political race gathers steam ahead of the 2023 elections, some decisions by political players have taken the electorate completely by surprise. For instance, no one believed that given the charged atmosphere, any politician would attempt a same-faith ticket for the presidency. It is happening, and despite the huge opposition to it, the ruling All Progressives Congress seems determined to ride out the storm.
When it comes to politics, it's a matter of choice, matter of interest. In every political party, you have Christians and you have Muslims. In every political party, there's opportunity for you to vote for a Christian or to vote for a Muslim. If you don't want a Muslim, you wait until the electoral day, you go and vote. It be your choice. If you don't want a Christian, you go there and go and vote.
Governor Lalong has choice words for those alleging that he lobbied to become the running mate of the APC presidential candidate.
People said because I was denied VP, I said I did not lobby for BP. Yes, many people were lobbying and writing on my behalf, but what I wanted to be, and I still stand for now, I obtained form for Senate. I won. I have my senatorial ticket that I'm waiting for. So if at any time some people who wanted to be VP lost out and they are using religion, they should not use me to help them.
Equally controversial is the rebuilding of the Jos Central Market, which has been subsumed by religious undertones.
We brought developers and Jais Bank is funding them. They build the market and the market will be given to Plateau State to be shared, to distributed to those who will want to buy the market. And then a National Assembly member who has not contributed anything to the state, the only thing he wants to contribute to get re-elected is to go and start spreading false allegations that the market, I had sold the market for 40 years to Jais Bank. It's not possible. The 40 years is for the shop owners. That is those off-takers who are going to buy. The little civil servants or the poor people that will borrow money from the bank to come and buy shop.
Proponents of secularity argue that religion should be separated from state and leadership should emerge based on competence rather than affiliation. It is an argument that has been advanced, but does not seem to be catching on, which means Governor Lalong, as DG of the campaign, has a huge task on his hands. From State House, Abuja, Kende Amudu, Trust TV News.
Meanwhile, former Governor of Plateau State, Senator Joshua Dariye, is set to declare interest to contest the Plateau Central senatorial seat on the platform of the Labour Party. Daily Trust reports that the Plateau State chapter of the Labour Party has concluded arrangements to receive the former Plateau Governor from Abuja to pick the party's senatorial form. Dariye, who served as People's Democratic Party Governor, defected to the Labour Party, where he contested and won a senatorial seat in 2011. Dariye, who was serving a 10-year prison sentence for 1.1 billion naira fraud, was released on Monday alongside former Taraba Governor Joli Inyame and 3 others after their pardon by the Council of State led by President Muhammadu Buhari. However, the Labour Party's chairperson in Plateau State, Grace Zamfara, could not be reached for comments. And as the 2023 general elections approach, youth have been charged to abstain from all forms of immoral behavior. And instead, stakeholders urge them to take responsibility of building a prosperous Nigeria by electing leaders with proven integrity who will bring the expected development. Silas Lowen reports.
The countdown is well underway for what will be the 7th general elections since the return to democracy in 1999. This represented 23 years of unbroken democracy, the longest period in the country's history. However, stakeholders are calling on youth to desist from being used as political targets by unscrupulous politicians for their selfish gains. They said now is the time for far-reaching sensitization campaigns to educate electorates on the importance of exercising their franchise in an honest manner, shunning violence.
But I'm happy today that people have realized money politics will take us nowhere. They have deliberately commercialized the political process so that people like me, you and others who has the knowledge, the experience, the integrity not to participate.
On their parts, the youth stressed the importance of education in any country. They said for any country to develop, there has to be a good system of education in place. Therefore, they call on the leaders to give priority to education.
We have realized our mistakes as youths in this country. Look at our universities, closed for over 5 months. Actually, we suffered more than ever.
2023 election, we must ensure that Nigeria get it right by voting those who we believe will squarely address challenges and bring the needed development of the country.
I'm calling on my fellow youths to avoid being misused by some politicians as their political dogs, because it is obvious they only use us and dump after election, whereas we suffer, they enjoy alone.
Nigeria may be celebrating its longest run of uninterrupted democracy. However, stakeholders believed that choosing competence and integrity will give the nation the desired outcome. From Yola, Salis Lawan, Trust TV News.
And still talking politics, the Director General of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, 2023 campaign, Abdul Aziz Suleiman, has raised concerns over the current political developments in the country, taking ethnic, regional and religious dimensions. Abdulaziz, who raised the concern during his maiden news conference in Abuja, expressed worries that the nation's political class are reincarnating a process that could lead to the collapse of the current dispensation. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
The journalist turned activist and now politician says the current political trajectory in the country is taking a dangerous turn of events similar to what led to the collapse of the First Republic.
As the 2023 fresh round of general elections draw closer, Nigerians can see that major political parties in the contest have inadvertently taken the dangerous contours that led to the events of 1966, which laid the foundation of the collapse of the First Republic Nigerian politics, and the setting in of regional, religious, and tribal hatred, jealousies, and distrust.
He says to reverse the trend, Nigerians must look at political parties that are not built around the fault lines of ethnic, religious, and regional considerations.
No one wins a religious or ethnic war. No ethnic group can dominate another forever. And no benefit comes from fights and conflicts over what God has blessed us with, our population, our land and its resources, and our values.
Yes. Abdulaziz was also put on the spotlight on his seeming class suicide and some of his roles in hardline regional activism.
We did not give an order for any people from a certain region to quit. We responded to a threat with a counter threat. To think that I have changed, I haven't. I'm still Abdulaziz. I'm still the CNG brand. And that was not the only thing we did. We have challenged the federal government led by our own brother.
He tasked Nigerians to rise against the antics of politicians wanting to take advantage of their vulnerability to endemic poverty and set them against one another for their selfish gains. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State, Emmanuel Akabe, said the persistent farmers-herders clashes in the country is a disease that must be cured. The Deputy Governor spoke on Wednesday in Abuja at a national conference themed Management of Farmer-Herder Relations in Nigeria, organized by the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution in collaboration with other developmental partners. Also speaking, the Director General, IPCR, Bakut Swa Bakut, said the conference was timely considering the violent clashes between farmers and others across the country, and to some extent the whole of West Africa. He said the crisis had led to the loss of lives, destroyed livelihoods, and by extension affecting other sectors of the economy. You're watching Trust TV News Update. And coming up after the break, how electricity consumers pay for darkness. Details of this and more after the break. You stay with us.
Which kind wire you gonna need to light up your light? Oh man, the quality wire. Now which kind cable you gonna need to light up your house? Oh man, the quality cable. Coleman quality. Coleman wire. Coleman durable. Coleman cable. Coleman tank. Coleman cable for any kind of project. Come and be the come and see, come and see. Come and be the Coleman won't light up your line. Come and be the come and see. Come and be the COLEMAN. Quality, quality. Durable. Now come and be the Baba.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now a recap of our top stories. 7 released victims of Kaduna-Abuja train attack reunite with families, narrate ordeal. And former President Olusegun Obasanjo cautions Nigerians against making a wrong choice come 2023. Now in other news, even as the remaining victims of the Kaduna-Abuja train attack remain captive, taxi drivers and traders at the Rigasa railway station want government to hasten the rescue of the remaining victims still in captivity so that train services can resume. This suspension of the train service has resulted in the loss of many jobs, as many families now find it difficult to survive. The report.
This place used to be very busy with passengers, traders, and taxi drivers. But for over months now, the place has been deserted and many jobs lost due to the suspension of train service by the Nigerian Railway Corporation after terrorists attacked Kaduna-Abuja train, abducted many, and killed some. Taxi drivers who convey arriving passengers from the station to different destinations are almost idle as patronage has fallen to almost zero level. The suspension of train services has paralyzed our business here. We are in hardship. Some of us had to relocate to other places in search of jobs. The place is deserted as no business activity is taking place. We find it difficult to get food as there are no passengers to convey. Yakubu Abubakar is a tea and bread seller at the Rigasa railway station. He once employed 6 people prior to the suspension of train services, but now he can barely cater for his family. About 95% of traders left this place, although some people do come here to while away time and go back home. I used to have 6 people that helped me manage my business, but now I manage it alone because I can't pay them. They have to leave. They appeal to the government to hasten the rescue of the remaining train attack passengers and secure the train route to enable train service to resume so that their businesses can bounce back. We want the government to make more effort in bringing back the train service so that our business will bounce back. We appeal to the government to save our source of livelihood by bringing back the train service and also rescue the remaining victims still in captivity. We appeal to the government to devise means of negotiating with the abductors of the train passengers so that our business will revamp. The resumption of train service is expected to rekindle hopes in many households at Rigasa community and beyond, as business activities will be revamped. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
A magistrate court in Oshogbo, Osun State's capital, has remanded a suspected serial killer, Hamid Rashid, at a correctional center in Ilesha. The accused person was taken to court by a police anti-cultism squad under heavy security as large crowds stormed the court to catch a glimpse of the notorious cultist who had allegedly killed several people. The Chief Magistrate, Olusegun Ayilara, did not take the plea of the accused person, but remanded him at the correctional center in Ilesha. The Chief Magistrate adjourned the case till October 7th. Speaking with Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade, counsel to the accused person, Taiwo Awokule, said the magistrate court lacks jurisdiction to handle the case because offences of his client are capital in nature.
It was arraigned, and because some of the offences in the charge are capital in nature, so the magistrate lacks the jurisdiction to handle those counts that have to do with capital offences. So that is the reason why the court ordered that he be remanded in the correctional center, while the police are ordered to duplicate the case file for submission to the Director of Public Prosecutions, Osun State.
And 8 months after failing to commence investigative public hearing into the rape and death of 14-year-old boarding student of Premier Academy Lugbe, Karen Hapuch Akpaka, Amnesty International has written to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajagbiamila, to comply with its resolution by commencing forthwith the public hearing. Country Director, Amnesty International Nigeria, Osai Ejigo, who in the letter called for an immediate, impartial, effective and independent investigation and the prosecution of all those found with no recourse to the death penalty. In a motion moved by Mark Bela on the 7th of December 2021, the House of Representatives had resolved to conduct investigative public hearing of the said Premier Academy with a view to uncovering the circumstances which led to the rape and death of his 14-year-old student. Concerned by the non-compliance of the lawmakers, Amnesty International has called out the lawmakers to toe the path of honor by commencing the exercise. And concerns residents of Oshodi Isolo, local government area of Lagos State, have decried the electricity bill imposed on them despite blackout. They accused the Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company of exploitation despite unstable power supply to the area, describing such an act as unfair. Members of the Let There Be Light Forum said the Oshodi Isolo Local Government Constituency 1, comprising Oshodi, Alashia, Shogule, Mafoloku and Ewontun communities, have been in total blackout for 3 weeks until August 5th, when some areas were supplied after complaints by residents. They said total blackout occurred due to a power surge and fire outbreak that occurred in the substation within the Oshodi Isolo Local Government Secretariat 3 weeks ago.
The system have made us lose focus on whom we are. It's made us lose our human value. Been lacking of electricity at this era of very expensive crude oil. Many shops have folded up, many businesses have been shut down because of lack of power.
So from January now, we have been going through NEPA problem here and there. Even attacking the NEPA man last time that they came to ration our lights. So all these things we have been going through a lot, but nobody can just come out and say anything about this light issue.
Problem we are facing when it comes to electricity is not peculiar to an area or a state. It's general in the whole of Nigeria.
Really, the problem here we are facing as per the light issue is serious because close to a month, or let me just say right from January, we've been experiencing an epilepsy light problem here. But it's the one that got us so pissed off was the one last month, that close to a month there was no light at all.
And now for a look at the foreign scene, where heavy fighting continues to rage around the eastern Ukrainian town of Pisky on Thursday as Russia pressed its campaign to seize all of the industrialized Donbas region. While to the west, Kyiv accused Moscow of using a nuclear plant to shield its artillery. Now, this comes as Latvian members of parliament adopted a statement declaring Russia a state sponsor of terrorism and said its actions in Ukraine constituted targeted genocide against the Ukrainian people. The statement said the parliament recognizes Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism and calls on other like-minded countries to express the same view. The MPs also condemned its use of cluster munitions to show fear and indiscriminately kill civilians. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.